Yes, sir. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy RegDolla. Welcome back to the Golden My NBA series, and we're back at the last day of the regular season. 81 games in, and this is how the standings look right now. Well, these are the top teams. We only have four teams that have at least 50 wins, which is crazy looking at it. But it just goes to show like how deep the league is. I'm gonna show you this right here. Most of the teams in the league won at least 30 games. That's kind of wild, and it just shows how balanced the league was. And let's see how much went 500 at this point. 19 teams that are 500, and it could be 21 potentially 500 ending the season off. But before we get into all that, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It's your boy RegDolla, man. It's the Golden My NBA series, man. So hit the like button, and we about to get into this. We about to simcast all of the last games and then take a look at the awards before we get into the playoffs. But let's look at the playoff picture in the Western Conference. We got Sacramento and Seattle battling out. Well, they're not playing each other, but they're battling out for the number one spot on the last day of the season. And it'll be big for both teams. Both of these teams haven't had a number one seed in I can't even tell you how long. Sacramento might have been, I don't know if there was number one seed in the early 2000s because of the Lakers, but don't quote me on that. They could potentially. It might have been since then that they're number one seed. And the Sonics haven't been number one since Gary Payton and Sean Kemp back in the day. And this is only their second year in the expansion. Yeah, year two in the expansion. They doubled their wins and then some. So if they could get that number one seed, that would be special. Austin Mack, Nick Smith, Kevin Durant, shout out to them. But also, I want to give a shout out to Reggie Mack right now. But the job is not finished. Who's going to secure that number one seed? And then the New Orleans Pelicans, after Zion had a spinal injury, he was out for damn near till the All-Star break. He turned that thing up. He came back still the same player, averaging a career high in rebounds, 63% from the field. Zion is still Zion. He's not averaging as much, but just coming back from the injury, feel confident what he's doing. You got Brandon Ingram averaging 26, 7 and 7, having a career year, damn near shooting 50, 40, 90. This is an all-time great season at the small forward spot for Brandon Ingram. And also, who's potentially the most improved player, Benedict Mathurin, who stepped up tremendously when Zion is out, upped his numbers to 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, shooting 42% from 3. We saw what he did in the playoffs, too, knocking down big-time shots. Ben Mathurin, shout out to him. So they could potentially be that third team in the West that wins 50 games. Denver Nuggets. Big news for Denver. Let's take a look at this right here, the injury report. We're going to get into the injuries right now, actually. Well, actually, not. We'll come back to the injuries. But specifically for the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, who is out, supposed to be out for the season, is only listed as 1 to 2 weeks. The Denver Nuggets were 26 and 15 when Nikola Jokic went down, and they could still have a home court advantage. They have a home court advantage secured. So he could be coming back in the playoffs. That is big. I thought this was about to be a lost year, but they could potentially do something with Jokic coming back. So shout out to Denver. You got Houston. All right, now we got a race right here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Look how close everything is. One game could change everything. You're either in the play-in or you're the fifth seed. It's crazy. 3 teams with the same record. And then you have, if they all lose, the Suns. If they all lose and the Suns and Lakers win, they all have the same record, finishing out the season. And Trailblazers and the Jazz. One of these two teams, I think if the Trailblazers win, they secure the 10th spot. But there's a possibility. I don't know what the tiebreaker is looking like for this team. Minnesota is right there. The Warriors won 36 games, and they had Kuminga out for a portion of the season. The Thunder were probably one of the worst teams, but they still ended up winning 30 games, and the Clippers stink. Now let's move on to the Eastern Conference. Washington Wizards. This team is, bro, it's remarkable how let's take a look at the average age. 24 years old. 24 years old. top 3 guys are still young as hell. They have the best offense in the league and one of the best defenses in the league. Historic offense, let me say that. And bad news for them, though. Scoot Henderson went out the last game against the Portland Trailblazers and is out with knee tendonitis, and he's out for 4 to 6 weeks. So they're missing their guy at the one spot. Tata Washington is going to be their starter, so we'll see how that plays out for them. But they still got Marquise Allen and Rich Mack, the number 2 pick, back-to-back years. So I think they could hold it down. 63 games for a team this young is really ridiculous. They won 54 last year. The turnaround, I think we just have to give a lot of credit to Rich Mack and what Tyronn Lue's doing with this roster. And a team that's also really good. Can we see a potential rematch in the conference finals? The Detroit Pistons winning more games, 59-22 right now. Cade Cunningham getting better. Tyrese Smith, I like this 5 right here. A special team, but they're going to have to see Washington if they want to win. The Toronto Raptors are a game from winning 51 for having 50 wins. I think did they do that last year? All right, yeah. So they'll have multiple 51 seasons if they secure it. The Milwaukee Bucks, 47 wins. Would expect them to be a little bit better, especially with Giannis is doing a damn near MVP season. Arguably the MVP. Or is it arguably 32, 13, 7, 2, and 2? Stay tuned for that. 57, 38, and 79. But does he have enough wins to win the MVP, though? Them numbers is hard to resist. We'll see, We got the Memphis Grizzlies at the 5 spot. The Magic could potentially have some say-so in that. So, all right, we got another race right here. 6, 7, and 8. The Magic, the Hawks, and the Pacers. The Pacers they're not playing a game. So, wait, is it cooked for them? They're half a game back, so it's the tiebreaker if the other teams lose. But the Pacers are not playing tonight, so if the Magic and Hawks win, one of them is going to get the 6th spot, and one of them is going to be home court advantage for the play-in. So it looks like we about to have a good play-in. The Cavs are definitely the most disappointing team to me. They won 44. They went down 50 to 44 to 32, and I don't know. The offense is not good. Bradley Beal might have to go. But he's not bad offensively. I just don't know what it is with this roster. And the New York Knicks, stinky. Absolute mediocre. They got to blow it up. It's rough out there for them. And then we got these tanking teams down here. So let's start some of the games. All right. So both teams, it's a big game for both of them. Both have the same record, 41-40. Trailblazers are 10th in the conference. The Hornets are 9th. So big game for both of them. LaMelo Ball, Ricky Cruz, let's get it. What we got for us? Last game of the season. Hopefully some entertaining games. The Hornets is in control. Okay, little comeback right here. Let's slow it down. 7-point lead. LaMelo 22, 7 and 6. Okay. Ricky Cruz 5 of 14. Looks like they're not shooting good. Paul George, playoff pandemic P is in effect right now. Oh my God. All right, both teams are shooting terrible. All right, let's start something. Looks like the Hornets are gonna come away with this victory though. Yep, they win by 5 points. An ugly game. Next one, we got the Pelicans versus Raptors. And this is both teams that's trying to have a 50-win season. Let's see who got it. Toronto or the Pelicans. This will be an interesting finals matchup if it were to happen. We got Tatum and Ingram. Oh, my God. The Raptors smacking them. And they continue their 50-game win streak. Oh, my. Tatum gives Brandon Ingram 48, 4, and 8 in the last game of the season. Tell me you showed up, B.I. 22, 7, and 6. That's not terrible. But 37 for Zion. They hit 23s. That's really the difference. 23s to the 8. That's a big difference right there. It took 12 more shots also. All right, the Spurs versus Suns. This is another big game. The Suns on a 4-game losing streak. San Antonio on a 2-game. 7-3 in their last 10. Tired, fatigue. Shit, they don't look fatigued this game. Blowout victory, 30 for Devin Booker. Only played 31 minutes. 10 of 13. Julian Hendricks, 25 points. Kayvon Cabago, 8 turnovers. Jabari Smith, 5 of 16. And they had the same record, I believe. Now we got... Damn, are they... Let me see if the Jazz are out of it. They lost 4 straight, so that's big for them. All right, they could potentially have a chance due to the tiebreaker. And the Rockets, they could potentially lock up the 5 seed. Or they could lock up them being out of the play-in if they win this. And Houston coming out firing in the first quarter. The Jazz coming back responding. Is this going to be one down to the wire? Turn me up. 4 minutes left. Scott Kane, 24, 7 and 6. Jalen Green, 7 and 18 from the field. Cole Anthony, their leading scorer. All right, turn me up. What's going on? What's happening? I think Utah might clinch this one. I don't know if they're going to make it, though, the tiebreaker, but they running away with this. They could barely score, shutting down the water for Houston. 28, 9 and 7 by Scott Kane. Has 7 turnovers, but we got to let it rock. They won the game. Jalen Green, bad performance for him. Sengun also. Someone's also 1 and 7. The Mavericks versus the Bulls. All right, I think the Mavericks could clinch the top. All right, we about to disseminate. I think they could clinch a playoff spot, not a play-in. And the Bulls might be the worst team in the league. So, I'm about to say, we're going to have a little discussion. Luka and Joel Embiid, if they ain't win this game. 37, 10, and 12 by Luka. 28 and 13 for Embiid. Looking like they ain't playoff form. Brandon Boston, 21. Fred VanVleet, 17. I like the way this team is kind of built. Because you're not relying too much on Luka. You could get the ball to Joel Embiid to get a bucket. Brandon Boston could have a night. Fred VanVleet is still consistent. Well, I did not just say that. Actually, he's scorching from 3. Probably been the most consistent he is in his career. 45% from 3 is nuclear. Jonathan Isaac just got hurt. Broke his leg. Oh, man. That means more minutes for Julius Randle. Oh, man. That's heartbreaking. Damn. That's a big loss. That is a big loss. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Damn it, Jonathan. We just gonna let the minutes rock for now. All right, we got some Reggie Mack going up against the Boston Celtics. You know, it's F the Celtics, man. You know, Reggie Mack grew up a Lakers fan. All right, Reggie Mack, what's going on? Oh, my God, it's a massacre. It's looking bad. It looks like the Sonics, if they win, they'll probably be the number 1 seed. 6 of 18 for Reggie Mack. 4 of 15 for A.J. Griffin. 1 of 9 from 3. They just didn't show up. 42 for Jaylen Brown, too. Just giving AJ hell. All right, Sonics and Hawks. I think this is a big game for both teams. If the Sonics win, they're going to clinch the number 1 spot since 1996. That's 31 years, dog. 31 years. They come out firing in the first half, and they want it. They could sense it. They could sense it. The number 1 seed, the Seattle Supersonics. Do you think we'll ever hear that ever again? 26, 7, and 6 for Austin Mack. He need a round of applause for the season. Year 2, 26, 7, and 7 on 48, 37, and 82. Special. Special talent. Now we got the Pistons versus the Nuggets. The Nuggets, I think they clinched the 4th spot already, so it's nothing too crazy if they lose this game. The Pistons, one away from 60. 1 win away from 60. Winning 60 games is hard. They're making a comeback. 4 minutes left. 32-12 for Paulo. The big three is showing up. Cade Cunningham is not shooting too good from the field, though. Jamal Murray is 32. I just realized this is a Canadian backcourt with Shaedon Sharpe and Jamal Murray. And you could say a Kentucky backcourt, even though Shaedon Sharpe didn't play a game. He was on the bench, though, so I'll give it to him. Yep. You can see why this team won 60 wins. That's tough. Paulo 37-13. So we have pretty good performances from a couple guys so far in the last game of the season. It's honestly living to the hype, low key. The Wizards versus the Bucks. Ooh, I ain't even noticed the last game of the season. We need a rematch of this in the playoffs. Rich Mack versus Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I think is, these two are top two for MVP. Rich Mack, 63, leading his team to 63-18. And the best offense in the league, 29-13, 4 assists and 2 blocks on 71% shooting. And he's still 100% from the three-point line. That's great for the resume. He might never take one ever again. Just might let it rock. Because that is ridiculous right there. And improved his free throw shooting is 73%. This man is definition of efficient. 79%. Took 1,000 shots in the restricted area. He knows where he knows he does his damage. He know where to do his damage at. And then protecting the rim too. You know. Definitely alter so many shots, and you know they don't want to go at Rich Mack like that. But Giannis, oh, that's Tyson Dawkins. Fail. Giannis, 32, 13, 7, and 7. Monster season. This might be his best, and it's his best individual season. But they got 48. They got 47 wins. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Last game of the season, and they were out Scoot Henderson too. This is tough. They going at it. You know, both guys wants this. Giannis, 18, 7, and 7. Tyler Hero, 25 points. Rich Mack on the other side, 34 and 8. Amani Bates is 9 and 9 from the field with 23 points. All right, let's get back to the Simmons. Slow it down a little bit. Tied up. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Rich Mack said, I'm going to take that MVP home with me. 38 and 9 for Rich Mack. Amani Bates finished out the game perfect. The Washington Wizards win. And if Rich Mack secured that MVP in his last game of the season, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be real tough. Real tough. Heat versus Minnesota. Yeah, this game don't matter at all. Buckets is going to be got probably, though. I need somebody to go off. Somebody better have 30. I know we had 30. We don't care. How much games do we have left? About 5 games left. Thunder and 76ers. 2 of the worst teams in the league. This don't matter. OKC is going to come home with the victory. Tyrese Maxey, 31. What did rookie do? 11 and 8. That's not a bad season for him. Clippers versus Grizzlies. I don't know how much this game really means. But the Grizzlies are going to win this. Because the Clippers, I think they was the worst team outside in the league. So get them out of here. Get them out of here. We improved on it. All right. We won 45 wins. All right. Hit the goal, too. 33 for Anthony Simons and losing effort. 25 for Jaden Hardy. John Morant, he turned it up a little bit in the second half of the season. Started to find his shot since the All-Star break. 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 11 assists. So they needed him to be more aggressive. And Jaden Hardy, playing his best basketball, the backcourt. 28, 5, and 7 assists. Wow. That's a big improvement for Jaden Hardy. Now we got the Nets and Warriors. Damn, this game don't mean nothing either. J.D. Davison, season high. Who cares? Who cares? The Lakers versus Magic. All right, that's another big game. Magic on a 5-game win streak. Lakers on a 3-game win streak, winning 7 out of their last 10. Victor Wembanyama versus Jimbo Jackson, Danny Tyler, Jalen Suggs. So I like the matchups that we got in this game. And don't forget about Jabari Mack, because I bet you he had 30. I bet you Jabari had 30. 38, 8, and 3. What did I say? Y'all owe me $1 for that one. 50 on 15 to 22 shooting, 7 threes. London Price, 23 off the bench. Okay, Jalen Suggs and Johnny Davis. I know they get after it defensively. Victor Wembanyama, 5 blocks. I like this team. They weren't in the playoffs last year, I think. So good to see that they're gonna make it, and they are the top 6 seed. So let's take a look at the standings right here. The last team that plays, I don't think it matters. So I think it's set now. All right, so obviously the Wizards clinched the #1 spot. Pistons at 2. Raptors at 3. Bucks at 4. All right, so we got a rematch of the Bucks and Grizzlies. If you haven't seen this from last year in the playoffs, bro, what are you doing? Go in the archives, man, on one of my videos. Grizzlies and Bucks. It was the greatest basketball game of all time ever played. Jaden Hardy, Ja Morant, Giannis, all going off for 50 plus, and then went to like 3 straight overtimes. You gotta watch that game. So we got a Raptors versus Magic series. Jayson Tatum versus Jabari Mack. I like the sound of that one. And then in the playing games, we don't know. Well, we don't know who the top 2 seeds is playing. But the playing games, we got Pacers and the Hawks battling out for the 7th spot. So the winner of that game will face Detroit Pistons. And then the Hornets and Celtics battling out to play the loser of the 7-8 matchup. So look at the West. The Seattle Supersonics clinched the #1 seed. The Kings are the 2 seed. The Pelicans are 3. The Nuggets 4. So we got a Nuggets versus Mavericks series. And then at 6, we got a Pelicans versus Suns series. That happened in real life. So we have a 3-way tie. Looks like the Suns. Yeah, the Suns clinched it. They won the tiebreaker. So in the play-in, we got the Rockets versus Spurs. A battle in Texas. 2 rival teams. And then we got Lakers and Trailblazers too, battling out. And the Jazz just missed out. That's tough. But it's going to be some good-ass playing games. But without further ado, let's get into the awards. All right. So we about to go backwards with the awards. The Executive of the Year, Jacob Battle. Who really cares? Coach of the Year, Tyronn Lue, obviously. 164, has 64 wins. Most improved goes to Benedict Mathurin, upping his numbers up to 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And opportunity is really everything. Opportunity is everything. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I think that as a 3rd one to his collection, if I'm not mistaken, his 4th Defensive Player of the Year and going back to back. Wow. Damn, he also dropped 66 in the first game of the season. Giannis is insane. He is insane. The best player in the world. Averaged 2.1 steals and 2.1 blocks. I think that might have been a career high in both statistics. Sixth man of the year goes to Colin Sexton. His efficiency improved, averaged a little bit less points, 18, 3, and 4 assists, but got to a bucket. Rookie of the year, Mikal Jennings. Gave it to Mikal. It was pretty close. Mikal, he averaged 14, 4, and 7 assists, and 2 steals. 2 steals a game if you round up. 47, 37, and 81. His shooting splits is better than most of the rookies. Rashard Hall and Isaiah West both averaged better points per game, but overall numbers and efficiency, I had to go to Mikal. And his passing was also pretty good for a rookie. And Dimitri, he had a solid all-around season. Not too bad. Most improved, I had to give it to Rich Mack. 64 and 18. Look at the numbers, bro. 29, 13, and 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks on 71% shooting. A historic offense that he led. He anchored. Bro, Rich Mack is him. Year 2, championship, finals MVP, and MVP. Dog. He is special. He is special. Rich Mack. Gotta give a round of applause for him. Gotta give a round of applause. I don't know where his tats at. Giannis, I love Giannis, man. I wanted to give it to him, but 64 wins to 47, bro. Like, what we talking about? Luka, 31, 9 and 9. Reggie Mack disappointed me last game of the season, but he also had a tremendous season. Don't get it twisted. It's Sacramento. Number 2 seed for Sacramento is OD. Trae Young, 29 and 10. Yeah, it was really these 4. Well, these 3 and Rich Mack were really. It was really that in the race, in the discussion for MVP. Also, Austin Mack get a little bit of a shout out though. But let's move into the All NBA teams. Luka Doncic and Reggie Mack in the backcourt of All NBA. 31, 9 and 9 for Luka on 50, 41, and 85. Monster season by him. Reggie Mack, 29, 9 and 6, leading his team to the second in the West. Giannis, we already saw his stats. Paulo Banchero, first team All NBA. This is why he went number 1 in the class, because of the ceiling that he has. And the team is winning. They won 60 games, and he got that number 1. He got an All NBA spot, first team. Only at age 24, so he's still really young. And then Rich Mack, capping it off, MVP. We already know the reasons why. Cade Cunningham made second team. The backcourt position is stacked. So Cade easily could have been a first team in almost a lot of years. 26, 7, and 10, leading his team to 60 wins. That's elite. But the other 2 guys just had a little bit better individual seasons, I guess. Even though winning definitely plays a factor, but the stats do matter too. Trae Young, 29, 5, and 10 assists. Also had great numbers. B.I., 26, 7, and 7. Carried the load a lot and kept the team afloat. Evan Mobley. I don't know why he's here. I meant to put Jayson Tatum here, so let's do that. Because Tatum led his team to 50 wins and had average 26, 8, and 6. I don't think Evan Mobley deserved it. They didn't make the playoffs. Who was I going to put in? Actually, his numbers is pretty good, though. It's pretty good. But I think I'm going to put Victor Wembanyama in. Average 22, 10, and 4, and 3 blocks a game. Scotty Barnes, 23, 8, and 7, 1 steal, 1 block. And Jimbo Jackson capping it off, the third team, averaging 26 and 12 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Austin Mack and Scoot Henderson, the backcourt for the All-NBA 13, 25 and 8 assists for Scoot. I'm sick that he's hurt. And Austin Mack, 26, 7 and 7, leading his team to the number 1 seed. And there's a lot of players that potentially could have got snubbed. LaMelo averaged 25, 7, and 11, didn't make it. but winning matters. Jalen Green, 28, 7, and 4. So you need more than stats. You really need a win in this league. 26, 5, and 10 for Ricky Cruz, but I think they are the 10th seed. Anthony Edwards averaged 27. So a lot of talent in the league, especially in the backcourt position. Just look at this. Ja Morant wasn't really in consideration. He averaged 24, 4, and 10. I forgot all about him. Darius Garland as well, 23 and 10. They are, if you want to round up, there's 32 guards that average at least 20 that didn't make an All-NBA team. So if you want to add that up, it's basically 38 guards that average at least 20 a game. All defensive team, Dyson Daniels, first team all defense. Reason why he started a lot of games because of what he does on the defensive end and that side of the ball. Locks up. Scoot Henderson also made it too with tremendous defense all year long. Giannis and Jonathan Isaac at the forward spot and Rich Mack at the 5 protecting the rim. Anchoring one of the best defenses, and Jonathan Isaac and Giannis could also say the same about that. Second team, Tyree Smith, one of the best perimeter defenders in the game right now. The Pistons had the best defensive rating, I believe. Then we got Reggie Mack, also playing both sides of the ball, locking up, doing his thing. Jayson Tatum, another two-way player. Jaren Jackson Jr., I think he was in the top 3 or 4 in blocks. And Victor Wembanyama capping it off at the center spot. And this is the all-rookie teams. Mikal Jennings. Let's take a look at the stats real quick. Mikal Jennings. You got Dimitri, Rashard Hall, Isaiah West, and Jason Gardner. This is the first team all-rookie. And then second team, we got James Michael Garrett, his brawler guys. 8 and 8 a game. DeJuan Robinson. Malachi Brenham, because I did add him late because he wasn't in the draft classes. Jeff Shorts, Chris Allen, and that's it. That's it. So now let's look at the playing games. Run through that real quick again. We got Houston, San Antonio, Lakers versus Trailblazers. Then we got Indiana versus Hawks, Hornets versus Celtics. See y'all in the next video. It's your boy RegDolla. If you made it this far, appreciate you. You might as well hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You know, get the algorithm up for this. I was about to say this podcast. Damn, I've been thinking about my podcast a lot. But actually, let me give a shout out to my podcast. If you're a fan of the NBA draft, I recently dropped an episode with Global Scouting, so tune into that 3-man breakdown. The link is most likely the link will be in the description, so tune into that. But it's your boy RegDolla. Stay safe, be goated, and I'm out of here. Yes, sir.